What's up, everybody? Been a while since I've been in the garage working on my cars. Thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. Today I want to work on the E92 and get the tubular all started or taken care of. We've made a ton of progress on the E92 off camera, so I'm going to show you what it's sitting like now, and we'll go from there. Would you look at that? It looks like an entire car. It's back on the ground, it's off the rotisserie, and it's on some wheels. We got the whole chassis has been painted with Steel-It. You can see I got some stuff piled in it, but I'll take that stuff out. Wise Fabs are on there. BC Racing coilovers are on there. And now we can actually start some of the main, or really we can start finishing the fabrication on the chassis. So got the whole inside painted. Well, except for that panel that I'm literally pointed at. But you can see nitrous bottle holder right here. Straight through the window. Cool shirt holder here, and this is actually the tunnel for like all the plumbing and wiring and stuff that'll come from underneath the car. Back here, I think you've seen all this stuff. It's just nice and painted now. Rear Wise Fab. It's in there. And we've just gotten a lot of work done on it, and I'm super stoked to be at this point in it. Doesn't seem like it was a very quick process, but I mean, it's good to be at this point. So I'm going to pull the car over, we're going to cut the rear frame rails off, and I'm going to start plating them in and making the rear tube structure. So the rear tube structure is going to hold things like the batteries and the bash bars and the jacking point, and really that's it. It's just going to be some fancy tube back there that can get crushed. I guess it's got to hold up the 2F front, the 2F rear quarter panels too. So, but once that's done, hopefully some body parts will start coming in, and I can make the mounts for like the fenders and the headlights and all that stuff, and the body kit will go on after that, and then it'll be a real solid roller, almost ready for a drivetrain. Alright guys, I got the fenders pulled off here, and if you remember, we had to leave these frame rails so that it would bolt up to the rotisserie, but it's never going to be on the rotisserie again, or we're going to have to modify it if it does have to go on there. But now we want to cut these frame rails off like right around here somewhere. And we're going to tube this whole structure back here. Alright, I've got my lines drawn here. Even down the side to make sure it's straight up and down. You can see it took a couple tries to make sure it was plumb. But I ended up putting a right angle up, or a square up here. Dropped it down, did the same on the other side. Measured from a little seam that's the same on both sides back here. Make sure they were the same, and then I put a big long straight edge across here. So hopefully this is going to be nice and square. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and if it's not square I'll have to fix it, but if it is I'll be stoked. One down. Pretty straight cut too, actually, for being an angle grinder. Not bad. And now number 2's gone. Plate these things back in. So, we made a cardboard template, and we made the cardboard template out of metal. And I always say the more time you spend on the cardboard, the less time you gotta spend on the metal. So now I just gotta weld these suckers on. Well, it didn't come out too bad. I know they're just frame rail caps, but welds seem to be getting better and better. And they just came out nice and clean and straight and flat, so I'm pretty stoked on them. Now we gotta weld some square tubing from here to like back here somewhere, so the radiator can sit here and the batteries can sit in here and the bash bars can hang off of it. But unfortunately, it's already dark out, guys. And if we look real hard, you'll see that I got some neighbors. So I don't really want to upset them by cutting all this metal over here this late at night. It's only about 9 o'clock, but you got to be nice to your neighbors. This thing needs some work, but you'll see that in another video. Alright guys, it's day number 2. After I got out of work tonight, I got straight into the garage and started working on what we were working on last night when I had to stop to not be bothersome to my neighbors. So today I came out here and I just finished cutting all the pieces that we need for the kind of the main tube structure in the back. So let me go ahead and show you what we're doing here. So this is what it's going to look like. So this is going to be the main tube rear structure. Just a couple pieces of 1.5 inch square tube. And you can see it's actually 2 pieces tall. So 3 by 1.5. And the reason we do it like this instead of using a piece of 1 by 3 is because we want this seam in the middle to make it a little stronger. So I cut all these pieces out, and this is kind of how they're going to go together. I'm going to go ahead and weld the 2 pieces together first so that I can go to the ends and make sure they're nice and even perfectly. And I'll weld these together and those together over there first. Then I'll weld this piece to this piece to this piece, and then I'll weld that whole thing right to here. So there's no way it could be torqued or twisted or anything like that. It just makes putting it on here level much easier when it's all one piece. Alright, I got these welded together. Actually, the welds look pretty nice. And now I'm going to weld these to each other nice and square. Alright, we're just about ready to tack this on. Just going to tack it on, make sure it's in place, and go ahead and weld it. Actually came out pretty square, pretty flat, pretty good, so I'm pretty excited about it. Alright guys, I just finished up the rear kind of main crash structure that everything else is going to be mounted to. So let's check out what I did here. Alright, you can see I have one quarter panel on, but not the other over here, so it's pretty open. But I kind of just arbitrarily made this a foot long. So this is a foot from here. We have this nice big open area here, and then back here obviously there's some space to fill. So we'll start back here and move forward. So back here we're going to have the bash bars. So there'll be one center bash bar that FD mandates now to hold the rear bumper up. Has to span from one frame rail to the other frame rail, so we'll make sure we have that. I'm not sure if this would actually count as that bar. I would think so, but I'll have to read the rule book just to make sure. If this doesn't count as that bar, then I will make one that comes up and across here. On the sides here, we'll make ones that can very easily swivel, so if I hit a wall or something, they'll either crush and swivel or move or bend or something, so that this doesn't get hurt. So the bash bars on the side. Underneath will be the jack point, so coming down from here, there'll be a bar that I can stick the jack under and just jack the back of the car up. On top here, the rear mounted radiator will kind of be in here-ish. Fuel cell will be in this cradle right here. The radium fuel cell sits right in here, and we made this quite a while ago. And then I'll have 2 batteries back here. I don't know if they're going to be in the center or hanging down below here or over here, but there'll be 2 batteries somewhere else in here, so the mounts will get welded to the structure here. And that really depends on how this car kind of weighs out. So they might be all the way back here. They might be far up here in front of the radiator. They might be underneath here or on top of here. I'm not sure yet. But we'll figure it out. And this is kind of the main achievement for tonight. So I think I'll end this video here. Still trailblazing on the E92. The E36 needs some work after the last event and before LS Fest, which is the next event. And we'll have event coverage. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking this video. Leave a comment down below if you want to know how I did something or if you got something to say. And I'll see you guys next time.